Hi, this is Prasant Radhakrishnan. Thanks for being here. Glad to make this video for you about simple Carnatic music ragas that you can use to have music meditation, go deeper into your meditation and realization through music by actually playing on the saxophone or whatever instrument that you play. You know, whether you're a beginner or you're just playing the instrument as a hobby, or you're a professional musician, maybe playing different styles. The Carnatic music ragas, each one has its own unique sound and effect on how you feel. And by playing those ragas and giving a little bit more space than you might do in a concert setting, you actually can go into a deeper meditation, which is really just your own being, but free of your own thoughts and free of your own difficulties that arise in your mind. So by going into the sound and playing, you're able to rest in your own nature much more easily and effortlessly. So I'd love to share with you a couple simple Carnatic music ragas that you can play and practice on any instrument, but I'm going to explain them on the saxophone. I'm going to keep it very simple, so even a beginner who's just starting out on the instrument, you don't need to be a professional musician to, or even a very advanced musician, to get the spiritual and mental and emotional benefits of practicing music on an instrument like the saxophone or any instrument. All you need to do is be able to make the sound, and it's very easy. So the first raga I'd like to share is Hamsadhwani. It's one of the most simple ragas, but very versatile and very beautiful, that you can play on the saxophone. I always mention this one first because it's one of the first ragas that I learned from my teacher once I started learning compositions. It just consists of 5 notes. I'll play that for you now. Sa. That's your G on the alto, concert B flat. Then Re. This is your A on the alto and concert C. And then we'll just keep going up the scale. Ga. Okay, concert D. This is your Pa, and then that's the 5th, and then your major 7th, which is the F sharp or Ni 3. And then you're back at Sa. And then the same thing coming back down. So in my other video about Carnatic music gamakas, I talked a little bit about some of the basic gamakas you can use. So just by practicing and playing this very simple scale, even just the pure plain notes or the shuddha notes, you can just meditate on those notes and dissolve into the sound as you're playing. And if you're wondering, if you're a professional musician, you're wondering, when can I do this? I'm busy. You just use it as a warm-up. So let's try playing a couple notes and not putting any gamakas. So even without any special gamakas, you can really enjoy the sound. Now we can add a gamaka, which the first one I like to share is the encircling gamaka. So you're going to encircle the second note with the first and the third. So you're going to jump over that note and land on the second one. So it'll be sagari, sagari. In Western music, it'll be on the alto, GBA. Okay, pretty easy. And then the next gamaka that's also encircling is you encircle your F sharp, the knee 3. Instead of playing it straight, you're going to encircle it by starting on pa, which is your D, jumping up to sa, which is your G, and then landing on the F sharp. So you can translate this in concert pitch to whatever instrument you're playing. And you could play this raga in any key that's comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be in this key. So here it is again. So these are a little bit more advanced. So if you're more comfortable with these kind of movements, you can add these gamakas in, and now you have more to play with. See how it just colors and adds the sound. Now coming down, you can also encircle the knee. So you didn't do the G, F sharp, G again, and then the D. So you kind of drop down to the D. So you can do B, A, and then G, or you can say B, A, B, G. Now that you have one octave, you can play the same concept in any octave in any range of the instrument. And you can do it. So here's a little example of Hamsadhwani, just relaxing and playing the raga freely. So you can see there I only used the basic gamaka that we just talked about. Now that's the first raga, Hamsadhwani. The second one I'd like to share with you is just one note away from Hamsadhwani. And that's you change the F sharp or the knee, you change it to an E natural or a dhatu in Carnatic music. So this is essentially the pentatonic scale, which is used all over the world. And it's one of the most universal scales that everyone recognizes, and it seems that you were born with knowing this scale. So let's play this one. It's very easy. All you got to do is do the same thing we just did, but add the E to it. So that's your E natural on alto. Same gamaka technique that we just did. Just do the same thing, but replace the knee or the F sharp with an E natural. It's a good launching point. Here's a little bit of this raga, Mohanam, which essentially means beautiful. So another very beautiful raga. The next one I'd like to share with you has a very different feel to it, and it's called Hindolam. This one has a G, B flat, you mostly use the side B flat fingering, C natural, D sharp, F natural, and a G. So there's no fifth, it's just the fourth. So it has this it shows you the relationship between the first and fourth, which is also very beautiful. Now what I love about these is they're all quite simple on this, at least in the first layer of understanding, that you can use the same type of gamakas I was just showing you on this raga as well. Encircling the second note and then encircling the seventh note. The seventh pitch of the scale, which is actually the fifth note. So a very majestic and meditative raga. I find that as soon as you play this raga, even for a few moments, you'll be in a very different space than when you started. So here's a couple moments of Hindolam raga with the simple gamakas. Now, similar to what we just did earlier, you can take one note and change it, and you'll get a totally different tonal color. So if you change the seventh or the fifth note of the scale, which is your F natural, change that by one finger and play the F sharp, you get a different raga called Chandrakauns. This is a beautiful, very mystical, meditative raga. So it's all the same as Hindolam except for that one note, but you'll see how different it sounds. So again, this is G, B flat, C, D sharp, F sharp, G. Sa ga ma da ni sa, sa ni da ma ga sa. See, the raga kind of pulls you in. See, I was going to play the simple one, but it just starts playing itself. So my experience is that some of these ragas, well, they all do, but some of them really do have a life of their own. And as soon as you begin to touch some of the tones and you start to explore them, it just takes over. And this is partially the reason that it's very easy to go into a deeper state of peace, or not even a state, but just rest into your own self much easier. And it does shift or change your experiential feeling to something that is very beautiful and usually quite peaceful. So you can see the Chandrakauns Raga, quite powerful. Play a little bit of it with the simple gamakas. So I'd say start with these 4 ragas, and you'll be able to honestly play for hours on these. I generally don't get bored of them very quickly at all, because once I start playing, there's no way to measure it with time. You can go as long as you feel like, because you'll lose all concept of time. And that's how you'll kind of also notice when you're going deeper with the sound, is you will not really have any concept about time, and you'll also notice the feeling identification with the body gets lighter and lighter. So you may experience that you feel like the music is playing itself. While you're holding notes, you may not feel your body at all. It might feel more like very faint sensations hanging in wide open space. These are some indicators that you're experiencing another aspect of your reality, which you might not have been experiencing or paying attention to before. It's always there, but we rarely pay attention to it. Okay, so I'll leave you with a little bit of raga of all these 4, just to give you something to listen to and something to practice with, perhaps. You can play along with me if you want, or you can just sit in silence. Thank you again for being here.